Hey students, in this video we will talk first about the coming up of the factories. The earliest factories in England came up by the 1730, but it was only in the late 18th century that the number of the factories multiplied. You can see in the picture, the first symbol of new era was cotton and its production boomed in the late 19th century. In 1760, it was importing 2.5 million pounds of raw cotton to feed its cotton industry. But in 1787, this import become more increase, and this increase was linked to the number of changes within the progress of production. A series of invention in the 18th century is increased the efficiency of each step of the production process, like carding, twisting, spinning, and rolling. It enhanced the output per worker, enabling each worker to reproduce, and they made possible the production of stronger threads and yarn. We will talk about Richard Arkwright here, who created the cotton mill. Until this time, cloth production was spread all over the countryside and carried out within the village households. But now the costly new machines could be purchased, set up and maintained in the mill only. Within a mill, all the processed were brought together under one roof and management. As we have observed that earlier there was nothing like that. This allowed a more careful supervision over the production process, a watch over quality and the regulation of labor, all of which had been difficult to do when production was in the countryside. So that's why mills were created. In the early 19th century, factories increasingly became an intimated part of the English landscape. So visible were the imposing new mills. So magical seems to be the power of the new technology that contemporaries were dazzled. They concentrated their attention on the mills only, almost forgetting the by lanes and the workshop where production still continued. You can see in the pictures, chimneys billowing smoke came to characterize the industrial landscape. You can see here lots of chimneys, which shows that the mills were in the lots of numbers. Students, we talk about the mills here, but technological changes occurred very slowly. So why? What was the reason behind this? Because they did not spread dramatically across the industrial landscape. New technology was very expensive, and merchants and industrialists were cautious about using it. The machines often broke down, and the repair was also very costly. They were not as effective as their inventors and manufacturers claimed. So, these were the reasons why the technological changes occurred slowly. Let's consider the case of steam engine here. James Watt improved the steam engine. You can have a one mark question here that who improved the steam engine. So you can write James Watt, and this produced by Newcomen and painted by New Engine in 1781. His industrialist friend Matthew Boulton manufactured the new model, but for years he could find no buyers. At the beginning of the 19th century, there were more than 321 steam engines all over England. Of these, 80 were in cotton industries and 9 in wool industry and the rest in mining. So, canal works and iron works, these steam engines were not used in any of the other industries till much later in the century. So, even the most powerful new technology that enhanced the productivity of labor manifold was slow to be accepted by industrialists. Historians now have come to increasingly recognize that the typical workers in the mid 19th century was not a machine operator but the traditional craftsmen and the laborers. So we are having different topics in which we have to talk. Students, here I will tell you, in Victorian Britain there was no shortage of human labor. Poor peasants and vagrants moved to the cities, large number in search of jobs, waiting for work. As you will know, there is a plenty of labor, wages are low. So industrialists had no problem of labor shortage or high wage cost. They did not want to introduce machines that get rid of human labor and required large capital investment. In many industries, the demand for labor was seasonal. Gas works breweries were especially busy through the cold months, and so they needed more workers to meet their peak demand. Bookbinders, printers, catering to Christmas demand, and two needed extra hands before December. At the waterfront, winter was the time that ships were repaired and spruced up. In all such industries where production fluctuated with the season, industrialists usually preferred hand labor, employing workers for the season only. In this picture, students, we can see also some peoples were always on the move, selling small goods and looking for temporary work. A range of products could be produced only with hand labor. Machines were oriented to producing uniforms, standardized goods for a mass market. But the demand in the market was often for goods with the intricate designs and specific shapes. In mid 19th century, Britain, for instance, 500 varieties of hammers were produced and 45 kinds of axes. Here we will talk about one other fact. In Victorian Britain, the upper class, the aristocrats, and the burghers preferred things produced by hands only. And why? What was the reason behind this? Because handmade products came to be symbolize refinement and class. They were better finished, individually produced, and carefully designed. Machine made goods were for export to the colonies only.